I hope you're all feeling fit and well today. So we're going to be doing a more strength-based class today. So if you've got an exercise band, we're going to use that. If you haven't, we're going to be using our tins and also body weight as well. So as with all exercise sessions, we need to warm ourselves up a little bit. So if you want to come into standing, if you're sitting, that's absolutely fine. And what we're going to do is just make sure if we're in standing, we've got plenty of room around us, we're not going to bump into anything. And we're going to start off just having a quick posture check. So standing up nice and tall, shoulders back and down, stomach muscles drawn in a little bit, and we're going to start off with a march on the spot. So those of you that have been doing these classes for a while now will know that this marching is a staple of our class. It's a really convenient way that we can get ourselves moving, get our heart rate up. Can be a bit boring. It's a really, really good way of doing this exercise. So for the warm-up, I always say this, it is a warm-up. You need to go nice and steady. You need to take your time. Think about going through the gears in your car. Yeah, you want to go nice and steady. Okay, so let's change the movement now to a heel dig. If you're not too familiar with that, it's pushing the heel forward and back, forward and back. Okay, don't worry about the arms for now. If you can't help it, you can add them in if you want to. But don't worry about the arms, just concentrate on the legs. Again, safety is very important, so make sure that you've got somewhere sturdy to hold on to if you feel unsteady. Okay, we're going to change now to a side tap. So when you're ready, tapping side, together, side, together. Okay, start with a small movement, depending on how your hips are feeling. If they're quite stiff, then a little movement is good to begin with. And then we can start to increase that movement if we feel we can. Shouldn't be forcing any of the movements, we shouldn't be pushing into any pain. All right, then let's go back to a little march. Think about picking the feet up a bit higher, marching those arms a little bit faster. That's good. So as far as aerobics goes today, we're not going to go over the top. We're just going to get ourselves warmed up and then we'll go into our strength exercises. Back to back with our strength exercises. We're going to be working on intervals again today, just because if I set you a target of 10 repetitions to do, some of you will blast through them really quickly, others might be a little bit slower. So just to keep us all on the same page. Right, so let's change now to a side step. When you're ready, careful of your surroundings. We're going to step across to the side, feet together, back to the center, feet together. There we go. So again, starting nice and steady. We're going to cycle through these movements again, adding the arms. So don't worry about adding your arms just yet. Just get yourself moving. Really good one for our balance as well, this one. We might overlook this movement, but stepping sideways is a really important ability. Yeah, we step sideways to dodge out the way of things. Or if we have a bit of a wobble, stepping sideways is always good. Right then. We're going to go back to a march again. Not for long. And then we're going to go back to those heel digs, adding the arms again, if we can. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go with the heel digs, adding arms. Pushing forward, so pressing out as we push that heel forwards. So we're going to call this second gear. Okay, so we're moving a little bit faster, we're moving a bit bigger, incorporating more body parts. So we should start to notice maybe a deepening of our breathing, but we should still always be able to talk. If you can't talk, you're working too hard. Right, 3, 2, 1. Let's side tap. Again, we can add arms if we want to. You don't have to. That's good. Brilliant, nice big movements. I won't be getting you doing star jumps, don't worry. That's far too energetic for a Thursday morning. Okay, we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to have a little march on the spot just to set ourselves up for the side steps. So when we're ready, we're going to go to the sides. We're going to step across, together, back, together. Add the arms in now if you want to. Add a little bit of a sway as we're stepping. I'm giving away all my dancing techniques here. I'm far too shy to dance. I don't do dancing. That's good. little bit of a spring in your step, making sure we're picking that foot up as we step across. And then after this exercise, we're going to start loosening off the joints. So let's go for 3, 2, 1. We're going to settle in the middle. Just keep the feet moving gently. And what we'll do today is we'll start at the lower part of the body. We'll start at the waist and we'll work our way up. So in standing, we want to have our feet nice and wide. In sitting, you want to be at the front of the chair. I think everyone's up on their feet. We want arms resting on our sides, and we want to lengthen our spine, so chest and head up. And what we're going to do is reach down towards the knee. Okay, so we're sliding our hand down, come back up to the middle, and then reach down the other side. So we're having a bit of a stretch. We're stretching a muscle in our back. I'm not going to go into names of the muscles, but a muscle that runs up your spine, and also you'll feel the muscles in your waist having a gentle stretch as well. But this is mobilizing our back. And if you think about the movement that we're doing now, it is something that we do on a regular basis. Okay, so we're going to settle in the middle. We're going to keep the feet wide, soften our knees a little bit, and I want you to paddle. Yeah, do you remember this movement? We're doing a figure of 8 movement now, paddling our canoe or kayak. I get them mixed up. The canoe's open, isn't it? And the kayak's closed. Right. Nice big movements. Fantastic. Keeping that tummy muscles drawn in. So our next mobility exercise is for the middle of our spine. So what we're going to do today, we're not going to be waiters and waitresses. What we're going to do is we're going to place one arm on top of the other arm, like this. Okay, keep your knees soft if you're standing, and I want you to keep your hips pointing forwards, and we're going to rotate to one side. As you're twisting, look at the tip of your elbow, come back to the center, and then round to the other side, and back to the center. So we're going to go for 2 more on each side. And again, this rotation is a very important movement that we need to be able to do comfortably. Those of you that have been coming to our classes, you know that this is going to help you with rolling over. So if that's in bed, or if you've fallen, right, let's settle in the middle. I think I did one extra there. Let's bring those feet back in. We're going to go for a gentle march before we loosen off the shoulders and the neck. So the next one is the shoulders, and again, very important for posture. Those of you that are working from home, or if you're into any crafts or hobbies where your shoulders are forwards, yeah, we want to try and reverse that by opening up the chest. So if we settle down our feet a bit wider, we're going to do nice big circles now. So we're lifting up, pulling back, and sinking down. Okay. We're going to turn sideways again, so you can just see that movement a little bit better. So standing tall, we're going to lift, draw back, sink down. Okay, let's go for another 3. As much movement as you can. So if you are finding yourself in a position where you're rounding your shoulders forwards, then it's a good idea to get up maybe every 15, 20 minutes. Just do a few of these. Loosen off those shoulders. Okay, so we're going to finish off with the neck mobility. So we've already done a little bit of this with trunk twisting. So standing up nice and tall again, what we're going to do is just turn our head to one side, keeping our shoulders facing forwards, back to the center, round to the other side, and then back to the center. Let's go for 2 more. So turning your head slowly is important with this exercise, so you don't pull any muscles, but obviously make you dizzy if you're turning your head really quickly. That's good. And then 1 more. And we're going to settle in the middle. Right, let's have a little walk or a wiggle with those feet. We should all be feeling a bit warmed up now, ready for action. So what we're going to do is start off with a chest exercise. So those of you that have got your bands, what I want you to do is take the band around your back, okay, and hold the 2 tails out at the front. Those of you that haven't got a band, what you're going to do is find a wall, pop your hands on the wall, shoulder height, shoulder width, and about 1.5 steps away from the wall, and you're going to lower yourself forwards and push yourself back. Okay, so we're going to do this exercise for a minute. So we need to pace ourselves. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we're going to press forward if we've got the band. We're going to come back with control. So if you've got a band, you can make the exercise a little bit harder by shortening the band. If you're doing the wall press exercise, there are a couple of things that you can do to increase the intensity. So the first thing you can do is take your feet further away. But you do need to make sure that you've got a nice straight line through your back, so coming from your shoulders to your hips, so that your back isn't arching. The other thing you can do with the wall press is push away with a little bit more force. Now with the band, we need to think about controlling the movements both forwards and backwards. Okay, so we're working muscles now in the chest, back of the arms, and also front of your shoulders. This is a pushing movement, a pushing exercise. And did I say you need to breathe? Don't forget to breathe. Right then, that's the first exercise done. Well done. So take the band from around your back. Feel free to give your shoulders a little bit of a circle back, just loosen them up. Well done, everybody. So what we're going to do now is work the opposite. So we're going to do a back exercise. So I'm going to demonstrate the exercise without a band first. You're going to need your tins. I will be doing a band exercise. So what I want you to do, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this exercise a little bit better, because you do need to get into a good position. So we're going to have the tins in front of us, resting on our thighs. We're going to stick our bottom out like this, and then we're going to pull the tins up towards the tummy and drop them down. Okay, that's the exercise with the tins. With your exercise band, you're going to sit down. You're going to sit down now at the front of the chair. We're going to place the band underneath both of your feet, and the feet are a little bit further forwards, past your knees. And you're going to draw your hands from where they are by your knees to your hips, pulling your shoulders back and then relaxing. Okay, are we ready? Yeah, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So with the band exercise, we're controlling the movement both forwards and backwards. And we want to have a little bit of a pause as well. Okay, so we're pulling back and we're pausing, we're squeezing our shoulder blades together, and we're returning back to the start. Trying to keep that torso lengthened, nice and tall. And then those of you doing the bent over row exercise with your tins, okay, so what we're doing is we're making sure we've got that nice straight back, we're leaning forwards, we're pulling up, we're squeezing our shoulder blades, and we're coming back down. A little bit more of a trickier exercise to do. That's good. So keep breathing throughout the exercises. And what we're doing here now is we're working on those muscles across the back. And you will feel a little bit in your arms, back of your shoulders. And this is a really good exercise for posture and strengthening your pulling muscles. Okay, so make that with your last repetition. That's the timer going off. Well done, everybody. Feel free to grab yourself a drink if you want to. Loosen off those shoulders. Nice. So next exercise we're going to do is one for the hips. So we've got 2 variations. I'm going to show you the standing version first, the one without a band. So without a band, you're going to hold on to the top of your chair for your balance. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one leg out slowly and we're going to come back in. Okay? If you're doing that exercise, we'll do 30 seconds on each leg. I'll let you know when the 30 seconds is up. If you're doing the exercise with a band, you want to be sitting at the front of your chair. You're going to bring your feet and knees together. How many of you remember this exercise? We take the band underneath the legs. We cross the 2 ends over. We pull the band fairly tight, and then we rest our hands on the side of the legs. Make a small gap between our feet. Sit up tall, and then we push. We hold, then we release. Right, choose your exercise. Are we ready? Off we go. Okay, so I'll let you know when 30 seconds is there. And with both exercises, we want to have a pause on the side to help with strengthening the muscles, but this is also going to help strengthen the bones in the hips. Really important. As we get older, we want to keep those bones nice and strong. Okay, so we're going to change legs if you're standing in 5 seconds. Okay, change legs if you're standing. I'm going to change to do some standing ones now, just so you can see. So in standing, we're keeping the body tall, we're lifting, we're not kicking, holding and lowering down. Making sure that our toes are pointing forwards. So really important. There we go. Feel free to change exercise if you want to as well. You don't have to do all the same. Last few seconds. Diane, well done. Good. I don't know about you, but I definitely felt them here on the side of the hip, side of the bottom. It's a really good exercise for strengthening those muscles and also the bones. Right. Next exercise is biceps. These muscles here in our arms. So with your tins, you've done this one before. Holding the tins, palms facing forwards. Okay, and then what we do is we lift up to here, and then we come down with control. Are we ready? Off we go. So if you find that your arms are getting tired, then you can just do one arm and then the other. And some of you might start to feel that those tins are getting a bit light. So what can we do to make the exercise harder in that case? Well, there's a couple of options. The simple one is we can do 1.5 reps. So we can go up halfway, we can go down, and then we can go all the way up, and then down. Up halfway, down, all the way up, and down. Try a few of them, see how you get on. The other option to make this exercise harder involves maybe getting a harder weight. So you could maybe use bottles of water. You can use those bottles and fill them up with sand. You can fill them up with stones if you live near a beach. That's good. How are the arms feeling? There we are, last repetition. And then we're going to change exercise. There we go, well done. So our next exercise is the legs. Okay, so we are going to do, well, there's two options. Number one is to do a leg press with the band, and the other option is to do a sit to stand exercise. So the sit to stand exercise is much harder. So only do this one if your knees are okay and you're feeling quite strong today. So sit to stand, we want to start at the front of the chair. We're going to push up nice and tall, and then we come down with control and sit down again. Okay, that's going to be quite a hard exercise, so do that one if you want to. The other option is to use your band. Okay, we're going to place the band underneath one foot this time. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to lift our foot, we're going to stretch our band, and then we're going to drive out. We're going to push, and then we're going to relax. So there are your options. Are we ready? Off we go. So I'm going to stick with the band exercise for now. And then what we'll do with the band is we'll change after 30 seconds. So try not to lean backwards with the band. You want to be pulling it to the hips and driving forwards, toes up. Should be feeling this down your thigh. The only thing that we're not getting with this exercise that those doing the sit to stand with is a glute exercise. Okay, so let's change legs if you're doing the bands. Swap over to the other side. With the sit to stand, guys, we want to be standing up nice and tall, lengthening and coming down. If you want to make this exercise harder, because I know some of you do, you can come down slower. And if you want to make it harder again, you can just touch your bottom on the chair and then push back up again. So it's more of a deeper squat. That's good. Keep going with the exercise, last few seconds. And stop there, well done. Quite a few of you doing the sit to stands. Well done. Okay, next exercise we're going to do is triceps, back of your arms here. So if we, tell you what, we'll all do tins for this exercise, it makes it a bit easier. So grab your tins. And what I want you to do, we're just going to use one tin. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. And I'm going to use this chair to help me support my weight, support my balance. So feet should be a little bit wider so you're steady. We're going to start off by just leaning on the chair. We're going to pull the weight up, or the tin up towards our armpits, okay? And then we're going to kick back. We're going to go 1 and relax. 2 and relax. Are you with me? Okay. off we go. So we're kicking that weight back and relaxing. Nice and controlled. So this is going to give you some strength in the back of your arms. And we need that strength for pushing, but specifically pushing downwards. So if you've ever struggled to get out of a low chair, sometimes you have to use your hands. Strengthening these muscles will help. Okay, last rep. Right, let's change. Same on the other side. I'm just going to turn my chair so you can see. There we go. So first thing we do is we lean onto the chair. We pull that weight up towards the armpit, or towards as high up as you can get, and then we kick backwards. Okay, off we go. 30 seconds on this side. That's good. So for some reason they call this muscle the bingo wings. Don't know why. Someone did tell me it's because of the flabby arms of the ladies that play bingo. I think that's a bit generalising, isn't it? Not very fair. Right, couple more repetitions. And we are going to stop there. Well done. Oh, did you feel that one? Back of your arms. So we've got enough time to do a couple more exercises. And I want to try and incorporate a couple of strength/balance movements. So the first one we're going to do is a calf raise. Done this one before. So I would recommend that you hold on to a sturdy surface, chair, wall, table. And what we're going to do is have feet hip width apart. Okay. Going to stand up tall. Now we've got the chair for our balance, but we're not going to lean on the chair. That's cheating. Just fingertips. So when you're ready, I want you to push up onto your toes, hold, and then lower slowly with control. So we're going to push up for 1. So we're going to go up and then down for 2. 1, 2. Push up for 1, down for 2. That's good. So we should feel this in the lower legs, so back of the knee downwards. If you feel really good with this exercise, then you can start to reduce the amount of support that you're using from the chair. So maybe have one hand away, or you can have just one finger on the chair. And if you're feeling really brave and clever, you can take away your hands and make this more of a balance exercise. But don't put your hands behind your back or anything like that. Keep them close to the chair. So a minute of this is quite long. So if your legs are on fire, have a little rest. We're nearly there. Okay, well done. Right. I think we need to give those feet a bit of a wiggle now, because I don't know about you, but I can feel that in my calves. Okay, sticking with the strength/balance, we're going to do a one-legged stand as our next exercise. So this might seem quite a tame exercise to do, but there's lots of benefits that we can get from this. So again, I would highly recommend that you hold on. And what we're going to do, we'll do 30 seconds on each leg. What I want you to do first of all is just to start lifting your heel up so that your toes are resting, okay? And then when you're ready, start to just lift those toes off the floor. So we're not lifting the foot up really high, we're not doing Karate Kid impression, we're just lifting up off the floor so that we've decreased our base of support. If you feel quite good with your balance, you can have maybe a finger touch on the chair. If you do need to dab your foot down, that's fine, just come back into the exercise. That's good, a few more seconds to go. And we're going to pause it there and we're going to change legs. Okay, give your feet a wiggle in between, give your bottom a wiggle. I'm sure you felt that in your hips as well. Okay, so same again. We're just going to start off standing tall and peel that heel off the floor so the toes are touching, and then we're going to lift the toes if we can, and we're going to start the timer for 30 seconds. Right, what are the benefits of this exercise, I hear you asking? So first of all, we've got strength of the muscles in the hip, in the supporting hip. We've got bone loading, and we've also got a challenge on our balance, okay? You should feel your foot doing this, twitching side to side, correcting itself. So working on those little muscles in the ankles, in the feet. Well done. And stop there. Good. Give your feet a wiggle, your bottom a wiggle. And then what we're going to do as our last exercise is we're going to work those muscles in the front of your shins, basically. Now, if your balance isn't too good, then you can do this sitting down. Okay, so you can stand up if you feel good. If you need to sit down, what I want you to do is sit at the front of your chair, and I want you to tap your toes like this, tapping on the floor. Okay, up and down. Now, if you're standing, what we're going to do, like the calf raise exercise, stand up tall, we're going to peel the toes up, we're going to hold them, and then we're going to lower. Are we ready? Off we go. So if you're standing, you're doing the exercise like the calf raise, we're coming up for 1 and down for 2. So a strong lift, and down for 2. Try not to push your bottom out, keep your bottom tucked under as you're lifting your toes up. And then lower. Good. If you're sitting, tapping those toes, keep them tapping. Don't slow down, keep those toes tapping. You thought this was the easy option. Starts to really bite towards the end. We've got about 20 seconds left to go. Let's keep going. Either toe tapping or driving those toes up off the floor, pulling them up, holding and lowering. 10 seconds to go. This is a really important exercise to strengthen those muscles we use for lifting our toes up for walking. Great for our balance. Okay, that's the timer up. Fantastic. So what we're going to finish off with is our warm down, our wind down, and some stretches. So make sure you've got plenty of room around you. Okay, get yourself back up into standing if you feel good to stand, and we're just going to have a gentle march on the spot. So is everyone okay? Give me a wave if you're still there. Fantastic. So we'll have a little chat at the end if you want to hang on. But hopefully you found that session a little bit different. Like I said, it's not as intense, but it's different. It works you in a slightly different way. And that's what we would class as a strength-based exercise session. You know, solely working on our strength, but more strength endurance rather than raw power and strength. So let's change exercise now to a little tap side to side. Don't worry about the arms, just tapping side to side. So the benefits of doing strength exercises are to help you with your everyday activities. You're lifting, you're pulling, you're pushing. Yeah? And it's not only going to help you do those exercises or those activities, it's going to help you do them with ease. So let's say you're a gardener and you're lifting pots, you're lifting compost bags. Doing these exercises might enable you to do them a little bit easier, or decrease your chance of injury even. Okay, so let's start off now stretching the calves, and then we'll have a sit down. So in standing, we're going to hold on to the back of the chair again. You'll see me? Yeah. Big step back, get that heel down to the floor, bend the front knee, head up, chest up, looking forwards. And we're going to keep breathing as we're stretching. So our flexibility is, again, a very important component of fitness. It's going to allow us to move around the joints a bit better, help you with your movements, your mobility. Let's change over. And it can also shorten your recovery as well after exercise. When we exercise, we can make the muscles feel quite stiff and sore. So doing a bit of gentle stretching can help with that. Okay, and relax there. So we're going to sit down for the remaining stretches. Once you've sat down, bring yourself to the front of the chair so that we've got a bit more room around us to move. So next up is the hamstring stretch. So we're going to take that leg out, heel on the floor, both hands on the bent knee to support your back, head up, chest up, and then we lean gently forwards into the stretch. So stretching is something you can do daily. It doesn't have to be based around exercise. You can stretch many times a day if you want to. Just don't overdo it. Change over. And if you find yourself becoming a bit too sedentary, then doing some of these will help just break up that sitting, getting up and doing a bit of stretching, moving around. Feels quite nice to do. Okay, on to the chest stretch. So again, keeping yourself at the front of the chair, lengthening your spine. We're going to reach back behind us, holding onto the chair if we can reach, and then we push the chest out. Feeling a nice big pull across the top of the chest. And then we're going to settle down, circle those shoulders. So what we'll do for the next stretch is we'll incorporate a little bit of a side bend as well. So what I'd like you to do, first of all, is take your hand over the shoulder, okay, reaching over as far as you can. Bring your other hand underneath to support the arm and just ease it back a bit further if you want to increase the stretch. And then what we can do is reach up and then arc over into the middle. So if we reach up above and then come over, so you want to go over, that's it, over your head, that's it. Keep your arms straight as well as if you're reaching up above. And then we're going to come back to the center, drop the arm down and change sides. So again, reaching over, supporting the arm, pushing it back a little bit further if we can. Be gentle, not too aggressive with these stretches. And then we can reach up and above, come over the center. That's good. Come back, bring that arm down and relax there. And then we'll circle those shoulders backwards. And there we go, we're done. So give yourself a big clap. Fantastic, I hope you're feeling all right. So feel free to unmute yourself if you want to.